So welcome back guys to We Talk Boxing, and in this video I'm going to be talking about David Benavidez and where I believe he should be going next in terms of his career. So we all saw the fight that David Benavidez had against David Morrell, which was a fantastic bout between two incredible fighters, both guys that were currently unbeaten at the time in their fight. David Ramirez, yeah, brilliant performance, but just wasn't enough to keep off David Benavidez. He was just like a pit bull, and he's certainly going to be a problem for a lot of the light heavyweights. Now, the main man in the division is Artur Beterbiev, currently undisputed guy. But he has a rematch with Dmitry Bivol, which is on the 22nd of this month, and it sees the pair taking on each other for the second time in their rematch. Now, I fully believe that the winner will have to vacate one or two of the bouts in the division because a lot of the mandatories are going to be called. And you can't be fighting 2 or 3 fights within a certain amount of time. It's just unheard of, really. But in terms of Benavidez, he could certainly capture one of these titles. Now, he's currently the interim title for the WBC, and he also has the WBA light heavyweight championship as well. So it's not the super championship, but it's the regular title, I should say. So again, if one of those two belts are vacated, he would automatically become the super champion within those two belts as well. So again, he's set up quite nicely to become hopefully the WBC or WBA. But knowing Artur, if he or Bivol do win and they do get to have a choice on which mandatories they face first, and let's say it's not the WBC or WBA, they would prefer to keep those two titles because they are a little bit more recognised compared to the WBO and IBF, even though there's 4 main ones, they are the 2 best. But yeah, certainly some big fights there for Benavidez. Next, I would love it to be maybe the winner of Beterbiev and Bivol, but I just can't see that happening because let's say if Bivol wins, there's going to be a trilogy between the pair. But if Bivol doesn't win, then maybe we could see a Beterbiev. But if not, then there's other big fights in the division. As I mentioned, you've got Anthony Yard. He will be looking for a proper credible opponent after he should beat Lyndon Arthur in his trilogy. But then you've got an up-and-coming star, really, Albert Ramirez. He's 32 years of age, currently 19-0, and he's ranked quite nicely within all the governing bodies as well. And then you've got other fighters as well. Callum Smith, we know he's fighting Boazzi. Could potentially Benavidez fight Boazzi or Callum Smith, depending on who wins for the WBC or WBA belt, depending on obviously what happens. Potential. But yeah, Willie Hutchinson as well. What is he doing? That would be a good fight for him. And then you've got other up-and-coming prospects that are there as well. Edmondson, British guy, and then you've got Whitaker as well. So a few decent names in that division. And also they could have a rematch at some point with Morrell as well. And it's not something that I would like Morrell to take at this moment in time because again he's still a young pup in himself. He's only 11-1, so again he needs to, potentially keep fighting and try and build up his record and build up some names on his record as well, because looking on his box rec, he hasn't really fought any big names apart from David Benavidez. So again, he needs more experience and he needs to be in there in bigger fights as well. So yeah, they're my thoughts. Benavidez is a problem, and I do believe that potentially whatever happens with Beterbiev or Bivol, that he could potentially be one of the next big things, or maybe a next rising star. Now, could he potentially move up to cruiserweight at some point? Maybe. It's a question mark, but we have seen others do it, like Gilberto Ramirez currently fighting at cruiserweight as well, and obviously the WBO champion. So it is possible, but it all depends on how he puts on the weight and how he looks in other fights as well. But these are just my thoughts. Quick video just to let you know that Benavidez is a problem, and he is the next potential big star in boxing. But a lot could happen between now and then. He just needs to keep himself grounded and hopefully keep progressing and take those big fights and try and capture as many titles as he can. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please subscribe and comment. Bless.